Have you ever wondered why, even after so many years of daily struggle, that feeling of peace and well-being in our home always seems to elude us? I, who have experienced so many transformations, constantly find myself reflecting on the small details that, surprisingly, turn a house into a true sanctuary of calm and happiness. Today, I invite you to embark with me on this journey through the ancient teachings of Japan, a land that, even though so distant, has precious lessons to share. Get ready to discover 13 Japanese tips for a happy and soothing home, based on neuroscience, that can change the way you view your environment, your routine, and even your life. Before we proceed, let me extend an unusual invitation. If you think that a middle-aged housewife has nothing revolutionary to say, try subscribing to the channel right now. Yes, subscribe, even if you believe you've seen it all. After all, a touch of irony has never hurt anyone, has it? And if you still have doubts, remember, wisdom can come from the most unexpected places. I am a woman who has lived every phase of this existence intensely, who has laughed, cried, argued with her own conscience, and above all, learned to value simplicity. When I look back, I see that my home is not just a physical shelter, but the reflection of a soul in constant transformation. Today, with my 50-something years of experience, I have decided to share with you some lessons I have learned over time. Lessons that come from the East and from neuroscience itself, combined in a surprising way to bring harmony to any home. Tip 1. Wabi-sabi, the beauty of imperfection. The first teaching I want to share is the concept of wabi-sabi, a philosophy that values the imperfection and transience of things. For many years, I sought perfection in every corner of my home, but it was precisely when I learned to accept flaws and the marks of time that everything began to have a new meaning. It is not about resignation, but about recognizing that imperfection is part of our history and, in a way, part of our beauty. Neuroscience studies show that when we accept imperfections, ours and those of the objects around us, our brain relaxes, releasing accumulated tension. Thus, every crack in the wall or scratch on the furniture becomes a reminder that life is made of cycles, and even wear and tear can have its charm. Tip 2. Ikigai, discovering purpose in everyday life. Another Japanese concept that transformed the way I see my home was ikigai, the reason for being. In a time when everything seemed so rushed, I stopped to think, what truly brings me joy? I discovered that my passion for organizing, caring for, and transforming my environment is my way of leaving a positive mark on the world. By aligning my daily tasks with my purpose, I realized that my brain becomes more creative and productive. This sense of purpose not only elevates emotional well-being, but also has a proven effect on reducing stress, promoting a more serene and harmonious environment. Tip 3. Minimalism. Less is more. I have always been the type to accumulate things, clothes, utensils, mementos, until one day, exhausted from living amidst excess, I decided to embrace minimalism. Inspired by Japanese aesthetics, I began to get rid of what wasn't essential, creating a lighter and more organized space. Minimalism goes beyond the simple reduction of items. It teaches us to value every object we choose to keep. Neuroscience proves that visually less cluttered environments can improve our concentration and reduce anxiety. Today, every corner of my home reflects a conscious choice, care for my mental health, and an invitation to simplicity. Tip 4. The concept of ma, the space between things. Have you ever stopped to think about the value of empty space? In Japan, the concept of ma teaches us the importance of intervals, silence, and pauses between moments. In my home, I learned not to fill every inch with objects or noise. Allowing space to breathe is, in fact, an act of self-love. Neuroscience studies indicate that periods of pause and silence help to reorganize thoughts and restore mental energy. Thus, cultivating ma in the home is a daily invitation to reflection, creativity, and serenity. Tip 5. Shibumi, effortless sophistication. What would we be without a touch of natural elegance? Shibumi is the art of exuding sophistication without seeming to have tried too hard. I always found it curious how, by adopting a more natural and spontaneous approach in my decor, my home began to radiate a unique energy, something not always found in overly produced spaces. This refined simplicity is a powerful tool to stimulate our brain to relax and find beauty in authenticity. Instead of following fleeting trends, I opted for an aesthetic that reflects my own history and, surprisingly, has proven to be extremely welcoming. Tip 6. Kaizen, continuous improvement. Life is a constant journey of evolution, and Kaizen, which means continuous improvement, became a mantra for me. Every small adjustment in the organization or decoration of my home has a positive impact on how I feel. Whether rearranging a shelf, adjusting the lighting, or even changing the layout of the furniture, each change, no matter how small, generates a cascading effect that benefits both the environment and our mind. Neuroscience shows that the feeling of control and continuous evolution activates reward centers in the brain, providing a sense of achievement and satisfaction that goes beyond mere aesthetics. Tip 7. Kintsugi, the art of repairing with gold. I used to see broken objects as useless, until I learned about kintsugi, the Japanese technique of repairing ceramics with a mixture of resin and gold powder. This philosophy taught me that the marks of time and unforeseen events can, in fact, transform into works of art, adding value and history. By applying this idea to my routine, I learned to value difficult moments, mistakes, and imperfections as an integral part of the growth process. Neuroscience suggests that accepting and integrating negative experiences can strengthen emotional resilience, helping to build a more positive and adaptive mindset. Tip 8. Hara Hachibu, moderation that brings balance. Although it may seem restrictive, the practice of Hara Hachibu, which involves eating until you are 80% full, taught me the importance of moderation not only in food but in all areas of life. By adopting this philosophy, I came to value the quality of moments and meals without succumbing to excess. This practice, supported by studies on longevity and well-being, is also reflected in the way I organize my home. By avoiding the exaggerated accumulation of objects and activities, I managed to maintain a more balanced environment and, consequently, a calmer and more focused mind. Tip 9. Motonai, the value of everything we own. How many times have we devalued something simply because we didn't know how to recognize its true worth? Motonai is a philosophy that teaches us to never waste anything, whether it's an object, food, or even an opportunity. In my journey, I learned to see the potential in every item, transforming what could be discarded into something useful and full of meaning. This attitude of gratitude and responsibility, supported by neuroscience evidence about the importance of recognizing and valuing what we have, creates an atmosphere of respect and harmony in the home. Every object, every detail, becomes a reminder that everything has its purpose and deserves to be celebrated. Tip 10. Enso, the circle of harmony and illumination. The Enso, or Zen circle, is a symbol that represents wholeness, enlightenment, and freedom. When I started incorporating this symbol into small decorations and even during moments of meditation, I discovered that it had the power to bring a sense of completeness to my environment. The act of contemplating an Enso reminded me that, even though life is imperfect and ever-changing, there is an innate beauty in its wholeness. This practice is backed by neuroscience, which demonstrates how symbols and rituals can activate brain areas linked to the feeling of belonging and well-being, helping us find balance even on the most chaotic days. Tip 11. Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing in the comfort of home. Even though I do not live amidst a dense forest, I discovered that it is possible to recreate a little bit of that natural magic within my own home. Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing, is a practice that encourages contact with nature to reduce stress and promote relaxation. I began to bring plants, flowers, and natural elements into every room, creating nooks where I can retreat and meditate. Neuroscience explains that contact with nature activates pleasure centers and stress relief in the brain, and the result was astonishing: a home that not only shelters but also heals and inspires. Tip 12. Yugen, the depth of the invisible. One of the greatest surprises on this journey was the discovery of Yugen, a concept that speaks of the beauty and mystery that lie beyond what the eyes can see. In seeking to understand and incorporate Yugen, I learned to value intangible moments, sensations that cannot be measured but that transform the atmosphere of a space. This philosophy led me to create areas that stimulate imagination and introspection, where every shadow, every soft light, tells a story. Neuroscience studies indicate that stimulating areas responsible for imagination and creativity can improve our mood and even our problem-solving abilities, turning our home into a true laboratory of inspiration. Tip 13. Hanami, celebrating natural beauty. Finally, I could not fail to mention Hanami, the traditional practice of flower viewing, which taught me to look at the beauty of nature with renewed eyes. Incorporating Hanami into my daily life meant creating moments of pause to observe, contemplate, and celebrate what life offers. Whether through a bouquet of fresh flowers or simply by watching the sunlight reflected in a drop of dew. This practice, which combines art, emotion, and science, is a daily reminder that true happiness lies in the ability to marvel at the simple and the fleeting. Over the years, I have learned that each of these 13 tips is not just a set of rules or practices, but a philosophy of life that transforms the way we face the world and, above all, ourselves. My home, which was once a stage for stress and disorder, has transformed into a refuge where every detail tells a story, my story. And if you, like me, are looking to transform your home into a space that calms, inspires, and promotes well-being, I invite you to experiment, adapt, and live each of these tips. After all, every step toward harmony is a victory that echoes in all aspects of our existence. I remember days when the routine suffocated me, when the walls seemed to close in around me and the sense of urgency prevented me from enjoying the little pleasures. Today, I understand that true change begins from the inside out. The way we organize our space reflects the organization of our mind. And curiously, by adopting these Japanese practices, I realized that it wasn't just the house that transformed, but mainly myself. My mood improved, my relationships deepened, and my willingness to face daily challenges gained a new meaning. Each tip is like an open window to a world where balance and serenity are possible, even amidst chaos. And if you are wondering whether all of this really works, I tell you, the results are found in the subtle, yet powerful, change within us, and that is proven by neuroscience. By training our mind to appreciate the simple, to value what we have, and to seek beauty in imperfection, we awaken a transformative energy within us. As I prepare my afternoon tea and rearrange the objects in my living room, I feel that every small change has the power to alter the vibration of the environment. It is not about following a ready-made recipe, but about listening to our own intuition, letting our heart guide our choices. And in this process, we learn to laugh at adversities, to play with the unexpected, and why not, to be a little ironic about our very existence. Thus, I invite you, whether you are listening or reading these words, to reflect. What would your home be like if every corner were designed with love, with the lightness of someone who has lived and learned to value every breath? Allow yourself to experience wabi-sabi, discover your ikigai, and embrace minimalism. Reduce the noise and create ma in every space. Let shibumi manifest in the simplicity of details, and embrace kaizen, continuously improving every aspect of your home. Recognize that even cracks can be repaired with the shine of kintsugi, and that the moderation of hara-hachi-bu can inspire a new way of seeing life. Value motonai, find completeness in enso, feel the embrace of Shinrin-yoku, dive into the mystery of Yugen, and finally, celebrate Hanami with every new morning. If today you felt challenged, provoked, or even a little disturbed by these ideas, know that this is the first sign of change. After all, it is precisely when our comfort zone begins to tremble that new possibilities emerge. This is not a ready-made recipe, but an invitation to experimentation and discovery. You, who have accumulated so many experiences, deserve to live in an environment that reflects the richness of your journey. Do not expect transformation to happen overnight. Beauty lies in the process, in the small victories, and even in the stumbles, for it is through them that we become stronger and more aware. Today, by sharing these tips with you, I am not just passing on a set of practices, but opening a window so that we can, together, rediscover the power to transform our inner and outer worlds. May every object, every color, and every silence in your home become a symphony that calms, inspires, and renews the hope for better days. And if by chance you feel discouraged or think that none of this can make the slightest difference, remember that the irony of life is exactly this. Often, what seems insignificant can be the spark that ignites a silent revolution. So, the next time you look around and notice an imperfection, smile, for it is the testimony of a life lived intensely. Every mark, every scar, has its own story, and your home, with all its singularities, is a true mirror of that unique journey. My journey was not easy, but the wisdom acquired over the years made me realize that there is no magic formula for happiness. There are, indeed, secrets that can help us see the beauty amid chaos, to find calm in the storm. And these secrets are available to all of us. You just have to have the courage to look within, to reinvent yourself, and to value every little gesture that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. So, if you felt touched by these words, if my invitation awakened something inside you, do not hesitate to put these 13 Japanese tips into practice. Experience the power of imperfection, discover your purpose, simplify your life, create spaces for silence, embrace natural sophistication, continuously improve, repair with love, practice moderation, value every detail, find balance, connect with nature, dive into the depth of the invisible, and celebrate the beauty that blooms every day. With each new dawn, as you open the door to your home, feel the energy of a new beginning. Allow yourself to live intensely, even if in a subtle way, and believe that every change, no matter how small, has the power to transform not only your environment but your entire existence. And of course, never forget that life is an eternal dance between chaos and order, between the imperfect and the sublime. And it is precisely in that interplay that we find the true essence of happiness. Now, my dear listener, as you reflect on these ideas, remember to subscribe to the channel, because if a simple housewife can carry so much wisdom, imagine what else we can discover together on this journey. After all, if routine insists on surprising us, why not make it an inexhaustible source of learning and fun? Laugh, play, question, and most importantly, live every moment as if it were unique. Over the years, I have learned that the key to a truly happy home lies in the art of transforming the ordinary into something extraordinary. Every detail, every choice, carries with it the possibility of renewing the spirit and calming the mind. Neuroscience shows us that the way we organize our environments can have a direct impact on our emotional health, and the Japanese teachings are living proof that ancient wisdom can illuminate even the darkest corners of our soul. Reflect with me, how many times have you been swept away by the rush of daily life, forgetting to look around and notice the beauty that resides in the small moments? Perhaps it is time to pause, take a deep breath, and rediscover the value of every gesture, every silence. Allow yourself to feel the peace that comes from a space organized with love and purpose, and see how it can transform not only your home, but also your heart. With every new experience, I learned that true luxury is in the ability to live with simplicity and authenticity. It is not about having a house full of expensive objects or decorated with fleeting trends, but about creating a space that truly speaks to your essence. A home where every corner reveals a story, a memory, a victory. This is how I discovered that even after so many years, there is still room to reinvent my world, to give new meaning to every object and every color that composes my daily life. As I prepare my tea and watch the sun set on the horizon, I feel that every tip I shared today is like a brick in the construction of a home that goes beyond physical walls. It is a space of inner transformation, where the mind and heart meet to celebrate life. And if you, who are listening to me, allow yourself to embark on this adventure, I am sure you will find not only practical tips, but also an invitation to reflection and self-knowledge. So, get up, take a deep breath, and let the energy of these 13 Japanese tips invade every corner of your home. Challenge yourself to see the world with new eyes, to find beauty in imperfections, and to create an atmosphere where balance and serenity reign supreme. For at the end of the day, what truly matters are not the objects or the walls, but the feeling of peace you carry within you. May this moment be the beginning of a new chapter, where every choice, no matter how small, becomes a firm step toward complete happiness. May your home transform into the refuge where the mind rests and the heart is renewed, and may you feel more connected with the essence of what truly matters every day. And so, with a playful smile and a gaze that defies monotony, I conclude my narrative. May you carry with you this spark of inspiration, this desire to transform the ordinary into something memorable. Remember, true beauty lies in the ability to reinvent oneself, to embrace every imperfection, and to find in the chaos of life, the harmony we so desperately seek. I thank you for accompanying me this far, and I hope that these words have awakened in you the courage to make your home a true temple of peace and creativity. May each Japanese tip resonate in your heart, guiding your steps toward a more complete and conscious existence. After all, we are all artists in the construction of our own homes, and every act of care is a brushstroke on the canvas of life.